Breaking news! Have I got some breaking news for you today? Damn right I have. Let's get into it. Alright, before we get into this breaking news, which I'm sure you'll know about because you read the title and the thumbnail, make sure, if you want to stay abreast of all the latest Tour de France news and everything that's going off with the Tour de France, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be putting out daily videos, apart from the weekends, on all the news that's going down at the Tour de France, both pre-race, during the race, and post-race. Right then, it's a biggie. Chris Froome, Geraint Thomas, both out of the Tour de France in 2020. The team was announced today and there was a few rumours going around, but then within a couple of minutes it got confirmed that they won't be attending this year's Tour de France. Now you have to go back all the way to 2011 to find a Tour de France that Chris Froome wasn't involved in. And barring that 2014 DNF, he has finished on the podium in every single race. And when it comes to G, you have to go all the way back to 2012 when he was doing the Olympics to find when he wasn't in a Tour de France. Now, before we unpack the story of why Chris Froome and Geraint Thomas aren't there, let's take a look at the team that Team Ineos Grenadier? I don't know, I don't care. Let's see who they're taking to Tour de France this year. First up, the team leader, Egan Bernal. It's his third Tour de France. Brand new signing for this year, Richard Carapaz, 2019 Giro winner, still only 27. He's going to be in support of Egan Bernal. Potentially he's there to pick up the pieces if anything does go wrong. Next up, Pavel Sivakov, still only 23. He's a beast when it comes to the short stage races. Back in 2019, he took victories in both the Tour of the Alps and also the Tour of Poland. And his form at the end of the Dauphiné was coming. I guess the only question mark over Pavel Sivakov is how he's going to fare in that last week and a half towards the end of the Tour de France. Next up in the team, you've got Andre Amador, 33 years old. He's completed 15 Grand Tours in 10 years. And the most amazing stat is he's finished every single one of them. So you know you've got someone there you can rely on who is going to be there when you need him. Same with Castro Viejo, again, 33 years old. He's completed 10 Grand Tours, and again, he's finished all of them. So just in those two guys there, you've got 25 Grand Tours experience. These two riders are not out for individual success. They're working solely for that team. Same goes for these next three riders. You've got Kwiato in there, who is more than capable of leaving his ego at the door when it comes to the Tour de France. This man is more than capable of winning all the monuments, all the classics. He's an absolute beast on a bike. But when it comes to the Tour de France, he's all about the team. And same with these two final riders. Dylan van Baarle. You look at the amount of wins he's had in his career. He's only had 4 wins. Yeah, he's won the Tour of Britain. But essentially this man, again, a team player. And the same goes for the final selection in Luke Rowe. It's his 6th straight Tour de France. He's probably the best road captain out of all the teams. And again, you look at his wins as a professional rider and he's only ever had 2 wins. He knows his lane, he knows what he's good at, and he sticks to it. And you've got to say, when you look at how things went at the Dauphiné, this is the best team that Team Ineos can be taking to the Tour de France. What are the chances of winning? I mean, very, very high still. There's a lot of rumours and a lot of doubt now around Jumbo-Visma because the teams, both Jumbo-Visma and Team Ineos, are coming at it at such different angles this year. Everyone's thinking, well, maybe Jumbo-Visma have peaked too soon, but if Team Ineos were doing what Jumbo-Visma were doing at Dauphiné, they'd be going, they've timed this to absolute perfection. So it's still up in the air as to whether, one, Primož Roglič is going to be fit enough to be there to take the reins as team leader at Jumbo-Visma. But I mean, they've still got strength in depth to cover that. But what's going on at Team Ineos? Was the plan always to keep Carapaz out of the light, just keep him to one side, keep him training, keep him going, so he can be that solid domestique that Egan Bernal needs. So there's no clashes of ego. There's no, well, actually, I'm a 4 times Tour de France winner, so essentially I should be. You're just a little kid, so I'm going to take the reins, all right? And then you've got G going, well, I'm feeling pretty strong. I could have a go here. We've got none of that. You've got Carapaz who can pick up the pieces if need be, but essentially the team is working solely for Egan Bernal. Now, if Dave Brailsford and Tim Kerrison have done their maths right, which they should, because don't forget as well, although we've had this period of lockdown, this should have played into the hands of someone like Team Ineos, because Team Ineos are all about the marginal gains. They're all about the numbers. They're all about being able to be as specific as they can when it comes to their training. And the fact that there's been no racing means that they could have been even more specific in their training. They're not running the risk of being part of races where potentially anything could happen. Any of these riders could get injured. They've been solely focusing, or at least they should have been solely focusing on their efforts and been in the best shape they could be. So it makes you wonder why they weren't. Listen, Brailsford, Kerrison, Chris Froome, Geraint Thomas, they've all been doing it long enough now to know where they should be and how to get where they should be. And it's just, it does make you wonder, well, potentially that could have been the plan all along, to create this drama within the team prior to the start of the Tour de France, to get the rest of the teams worried and thinking, like, we don't know what's going on there. Is it a bluff? Is it a double bluff? Is it a triple bluff? Are they going to turn around in an hour and say, nah, actually, we're joking, Froome is coming, watch yourselves, boys? Who knows? Yeah, when it comes to Team Ineos, your guess is as good as mine. So, the timeline this morning, the rumours started about Team Ineos and them not taking Chris Froome and Geraint Thomas. After that, those rumours were confirmed. Geraint Thomas and Chris Froome are not going to the Tour de France. A couple of hours after that, Team Ineos released a video with an interview of Egan Bernal, Chris Froome and Geraint Thomas, and it appears that, well, if you don't look into it too much, it appears that the plan all along was to take Egan Bernal to the Tour de France, Chris Froome to La Vuelta, and G was going to be attacking the Giro. But what did the riders really think? Here's that interview now with subtitles.
I'm really exciting, I would say. I'm really excited to have this team around me in this Tour de France. I think we are a young team with Powell, Richard. I mean, I think we will enjoy it. We will have a good young team, but also the experience of other riders like Chiato or Lucro or Castro.
Feels like it's back to some sort of normality with the team and racing and everything, and it's nice to finally just have a firm plan in place and know exactly what I'm doing, and yeah, try and sort of get some sort of positive out of this year. 2017 I was in great shape, kind of similar form to what I was in 18 when I won the Tour, and yeah, the Giro ended badly that year with a crash, and it's something that I've always wanted to go back to. Yeah, enjoy the racing there. I've always loved Italy, you know, the roads and the fans and, you know, the food, obviously. But
it's definitely a readjustment for me, moving the goalposts from the Tour de France to the Vuelta a España. But I think given where I've come from through the last year, I mean, I've had a incredible recovery from the big crash I had last year, and I'm in a very fortunate position to be back racing now already. But I'm not confident that I can really fulfill the necessary job that would be needed for me at this year's Tour de France.
I'm sorry, I can't buy it. I just can't buy it. You can't help thinking that when G was, especially G, Froome is leaving at the end of the year, so I mean they could have royally screwed him over and just said, you're going, mate, but then gone, get out of it. But G, he's been part of that team forever. G is capable of winning another Grand Tour if things went his way. He can't help but be gutted. Because again, all you need is a crash or a mishap or a loss in time for Egan Bernal, and can Carapaz pick up the pieces that you know G could have? But then again, was G in the form that he needed to be in? It's a question that could go on and 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 on. But you can't help thinking that when they told G the news that he wouldn't be at the Tour de France this year, you can't help thinking that he was very, very disappointed. With Froome, I think he knew. You looked at his form at the Dauphiné, and you can't help thinking that he's not going to find the form, the fitness that he needs to be able to get through a 3-week race. I don't think that's anything to do with his injuries. I think he's way beyond that. He even said it in that interview that he's back to full fitness now. It's just a lack of racing in his legs, I guess, and potentially his targets are elsewhere and they've been playing a massive bluff all along. Right, so let me pass this one off to you. Now, this team, Team Ineos, was originally built for British success. And this is going to be the first year, really, that we haven't got a favourite in the team who's capable of winning the Tour. Well, at least not a British rider. How's that going to affect, so Team Ineos fans out there, how's that going to affect your support? Do you only support the team because of the riders who ride for them, i.e. Froome? If that's the case, are you going to move over your allegiance to Israel's Startup Nation when Froome goes there? Or is it about that team? It's a British team, ran by British people, and we're behind them, regardless of who they're taking. Or you're pretty fickle and you'll only support the rider regardless of where they're at. I don't know. Leave your comments down below. What do you think of this team? Do you think this team needs Chris Froome? Does it need Geraint Thomas? Or am I just being too patriotic? I want Froome. I don't know. But leave your comments, leave your answers down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure, if you've not done already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you're staying abreast of all the latest Tour de France news that I give you when I give it you. Also, if you've not enjoyed the video for whatever reason, Chris Froome and Geraint Thomas fans, hit that dislike button. But above all, make sure you leave your comments down below on everything that we spoke about today. Hopefully see you soon. Maybe tomorrow. Oosh.